It's time for Cats Talk Wednesday. Small town and big city joined forces. Vinny Hardy of Lynch, Kentucky, and Terry Brown of Louisville, Kentucky, team up to give you free-flowing, laid-back sports talk. Focus on Kentucky Wildcats, as well as pertinent information in the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball.
And that's what we do. CTW, Cats Talk Wednesday. Terry, TB Brown, Benny Hardy, coming to y'all courtesy of the BS3 Network, BS3.com, BS3TVLive.com. Live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, TB, man, and your Niners stuff. How you doing today, man?
Doing great, man. Shout out to Kittle that got himself a deal, and Fred got himself a deal, and Purdy got himself a deal. So feel it.
Oprah was in Levi Stadium talking about you get a deal. I get it. Okay, all right.
And there's that. And the best news of the day for Kentucky fans, we've got our first NBA MVP. So that changes, I think, some of the rankings, player rankings, right? Like you now have to put SGA in those upper level discussions, right?
That's it. And we got to bring in our guest that's backstage right off the bat. You said it right before we started recording. She's not friends of the show anymore. She's family of the show because she's been on 3-4 times. Every derby, the past, lead ups to the derbies the past 2 or 3 years, she's been on with us. She covers Kentucky for BBN Tonight on Channel 18, WLEX out of Lexington. She is from right between us. You're Louisville. I'm Eastern Kentucky and Lynch. She is in Frankfort. She's an NKU Norse. Talking about none other than our homegirl, family of the show, Sierra Newton. Follow her on Twitter at SoFlossyWrites. What's up, Sierra?
Hey guys, excited to be back.
We appreciate you coming.
Yes, ma'am. So, like TB was saying, it's a lot of stuff to talk about. I think we'd be remiss. I hate to bring it down, but we had the tornadoes hit Somerset and London. Terry, you're from Louisville. There was a tornado in Louisville just a couple weeks ago. We were talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm from Eastern Kentucky. I hop and a jump from London and Somerset. Sierra, you're from Frankfort. Mm-hmm. I was at Buffalo Trace last spring, and we saw the pictures there a few weeks ago. So just our home state has just been through it on a lot of levels here lately. I don't mean to be, but I think we gotta, we can't not talk about it.
No, yeah, it's definitely affecting every Kentuckian, past, present. It's, growing up in Kentucky, I've seen it a couple of times in like Eastern, Western Kentucky. And obviously it's always heartbreaking to see, but like once Frankfort got hit, I hate to be that person, like it hit home once I saw it at home, but like it really did. I understand what everyone is really feeling because like I'm seeing the places that I grew up walking down the street. Like I was a YMCA camp counselor and like literally the parks that I would take my little kiddos to was under water. So really seeing like the devastation that close was, and it is heartbreaking, but seeing the way that like we've come together to help each other out, it's always, that's always the upside of anything happening here in Kentucky, the amount of people that just step up and help any way they can. So that's the one bright spot out of all the devastation that we've seen is definitely being able to help out one another.
Yep, we'll see it. And we, same thing with your neck of the woods TV, same thing happening there as well, man.
Oh yeah. There's always a tornado or something going on up here in the upper Midwest, but all that devastation back home. The good thing is Kentucky people are hardy people. Right. I spread that gospel here in Iowa. Like we were the original gateway to the West, right? Like, from the 13 colonies, we are the first thing on the western side of the Appalachians. And that hardy spirit lives in all of us. Mm-hmm. Governor Beshear needs to put me on the tourism cabinet because I'm on my soapbox here. But, Kentucky, hey, hey, we gonna rebuild. We gonna bounce back and send thoughts and prayers and love to all those folks affected.
And Somewhere UK Athletics put out the tweet, Jagger Burton and my guy Trent Noah from my hometown in Harlan County. They got a drive initiative to assist with recovery. 22nd and the 23rd at the Blue Lot at Kroger Field. So to see those young guys kind of getting stuff going on their own is good to see as well. And it just speaks to what y'all just talked about.
Absolutely.
Yes, and our station is going to be out there tomorrow too, from 4 to 8 tomorrow, and then Fridays 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. But we'll be live out there trying to get as many donations as possible. So if anyone is in the area, please come out, because all of us will be out there trying to load up trucks or boxes or whatever we're trying to load up to help these people out. So definitely, if you're in the area and you're listening, I hope to see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. So we're live. You hear it now, and we'll put it on our platforms tonight so everybody has a chance to hear that. And in and around Central Kentucky, make your way to Kroger Field. Our homegirl Sierra will be there, and many others will be continuing to help out those who just got hit by the devastating weather. So definitely want to talk about that first and then get into what we do. I'm not saying how much of a diversion we can be for folks that listen, but we'll do what we do and chop it up. We mentioned TB. We got 6 guys in the conference finals. Sierra's a Steelers fan. You're a Niners fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. So we can never get along on the NFL fronts, but we may all may or may not agree or disagree with what the Eagles are doing with their little push ruling. We'll have to talk about that. So we got a lot of stuff we can get into the rest of the evening as well. So wherever y'all want to start, go right on ahead.
But Sierra, I want to back it up a little bit, because this was your 3rd or 4th Derby covered. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
It's my 3rd. It was my 3rd.
It was your 3rd.
Yes.
It was your 3rd. So how was that? I know it was a little wet, a little damp.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, this time I was doing something completely different. I was actually doing sports reporting. So I had a list of the Derby horses beforehand, and I had to learn as much as I could and put it into little packages and tidbits about them. And then the morning of, me and Kinsey Lee, we started off the actual Derby show coverage. There's the early morning Derby stuff, but that doesn't have the previews of the horses and stuff. But then me and Kinsey started the later morning coverage, which is 8 or 9 o'clock. And that was a whole lot of fun. I was really nervous, but also really excited. I felt like that was the most prepared I'd ever been to do a live event. So the anxieties beforehand, I just felt I just cared a lot. I wanted to do a good job. So that's where the anxiety was coming from. But once it started, it was good. And it was a lot of fun. And I had such a really good time. And hoping maybe to do it again next year. I don't know. We'll see.
I always check in with the local news feeds because I know NBC picks it up, at a certain point. I like the local stuff because that's where you get all the good stuff, in my opinion, Vinny. The national people stay up here. Give me the local people that know where to go around the track and all that kind of stuff. And you all do a fantastic job for folks like myself that are away from Kentucky. But I always thought what I'm doing for Derby Day.
Thank you. We appreciate that. We always love to hear when people tune in from outside of Kentucky too. Obviously, we like hearing when people are in Kentucky watching, but outside it means a little bit more because, you went through a little extra effort to find us.
Because I can't sit here all day listening to people say Louisville. That hits my ear wrong.
Yeah.
And mispronounce a bunch of things. Somebody might say Versailles. That ain't what we do in Kentucky. That ain't us. Right.
Technically, we pronounce things wrong, but that's wrong because we pronounce it the way we pronounce it.
But I need that.
You stand on it. Too.
That's right. That's what we need. Right.
So
and we'll correct every single person.
So you just mentioned that you had a different role to Derby, and you mentioned that you were nervous, but it went well. So compare how did you prep differently as opposed to the first 2 times? Because your first time Okay. And then the second time, like, well, I did this last year, so you had that experience. Now you got a
Mhm.
whole thing going.
Well,
So
different.
how did you prep differently, or how did you approach it differently this time around, knowing you had something different to do?
Yes. So the first year I was doing digital, so I didn't necessarily have to like study anything because it's just I was going into that as like, all right, what do I like to see? If I'm not here at the Derby, what do I know I look up when I want to be like, oh, what are people wearing?
Mm.
What's the cocktails look like this? Just like food, all that kind of stuff. So the first year it was more just kind of that. Last year I was on the red carpet, so obviously paying attention to the celebrity buzz, who's coming out with like the newest movie, song, whatever, and if they're coming to the carpet, just trying to think of like ways to talk to different people, different types of people, because there's like ESPN analysts, and then there's artists, and then there's just more of like Louisville celebrities are going to be there. So just trying to figure out ways to like have questions for every type of person that's going to be on the carpet. And this year was more of just learning everything I could about jockeys, trainers, the terminology, what people are looking for when they are looking at horses. Because casually, as someone who watched the Derby growing up here, I mean, my mom was not betting on horses, so I don't know when people are talking about odds, like these are the better odds and these are the odds, these are the long shot horses, like I'm not paying that in-depth attention to it. So this year was really learning what people are looking for when they listen to the story about the horse or they're watching your package. What are the main things that they're looking for? And then also trying to put it in the most casual terms, because I don't want to go out here and say some really big word and everyone's like, what is she talking about? Like the
Right.
audience is still like my friends, my people. So I'm like not gonna come out with these huge like I just learned these words and I'm just gonna say them just because I learned. Like break it down.
Right. Right. And that's what kills me around Derby time. As soon as Thunder over Louisville happens, every Louisville resident becomes this expert on this is what you need to look for. And it's like, if you don't get out of my face, like for me, like I famously, I picked two Derby winners. One, Sierra, Big Brown. Like that was a
Okay,
slam.
well,
That was a slam dunk, right? Like
that's a given. Like
I'm going to put money on Big Brown, right? And then I picked the Derby winner in 1984. I picked that out of a hat in first grade. That's it. I'm no
nice.
expert. Don't listen to what I say.
Literally, I don't know what I'm talking about. And even still me doing all this prep work, I didn't pick the right horse anyway. Like it's just like it
Yeah,
rained and the track became muddy. Everything is out the window that we just talked about, honestly, because
Yeah.
right.
now it's like a completely different ball game. So it just depends on the day, depends on the weather, and whoever shows up, who shows up.
My
But
my,
it was a lot of fun.
my dad always said, because he went to a couple derbies but was still kind of casual with it and stuff. But he said, they get all these experts and analysts and all that, and he said, this particular horse just might not feel like running that day. We don't know.
That's so true. Like literally, the horse will get out there and be like, "No, thank you,
I
I'm
ain't
done."
feeling it. I ain't feeling it today. Yeah, we don't know.
They,
No,
they've had horses like that make that first turn and be like, "Yeah, I'm out," and just
Yeah.
like
yeah, this is
start
enough.
wandering over. Like, what are you? The horse don't know he racing.
Right.
Like, buddy, we've been practicing this for a really long time.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Why today? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
just not feeling it.
Exactly. All that focus for those 2 minutes, and hey, it's just you never
Mhm.
know. You just never know. So yeah, congratulations on 3 derbies, and if you get to do the
Thank
same
you.
thing next year, cool. And if you change your responsibilities again, well, we'll know you'll be able to handle it flawlessly like you have been.
Thank you.
As far as the fit, as far as what you're wearing, I think the first couple of years, did you tweet out your mom was helping you plan the first time, and what
Yes.
was the process this year? Because you knew it was probably gonna be wet. Did you have a wet fit? Did you have a 1A? How did you plan?
So luckily our station has a nice little partnership with Dillard, so that's kind of we go with like they have a style person that helps us out there. But I was on FaceTime with my mom and my sister this time. She got to be a part of the process. I was on FaceTime with both of them as we were picking out my outfit. And I really liked, like, the floral suit that I wore was kind of like the first thing that I was drawn to. It was just picking, like, the undershirt was the most of the time was spent finding that, because I really was trying to make, I like how I look in yellow. So I was trying to make yellow like the main color, but then she found the hot pink and we were like, this is it, we're done. But then once I saw that it was gonna rain on Derby Day, I did have to go out and buy some boots, some rain boots, because I just haven't had any for a really long time. Don't know why. So I think on my Instagram, I posted a picture of what I look like on the backside, where we started off at, because to get over there, it's behind the stables and all that kind of stuff. So it is a little bit muddy. It's a little dirty over there. So I'm literally wearing like black sweatpants and rain boots. So like when I'm sitting down at the anchor desk, it's like suit, look professional up top, but the bottom half of me is literally black sweats, black rain boots. So like I was like, all right, we're keeping these on for as long as possible. And it was kind of chilly to start off the day, but luckily the sun came out towards the end and it got a little better. But yeah, the first half of the day, I was making sure that we stayed protected and covered up. And then I just put on a poncho afterwards. I put on a poncho, put my little cute heels back on, and I was just like, we're just going to weather the storm, whatever. Yeah. But while I was on air, I made sure that everything was protected and whatnot. Then afterwards, I was like, it's whatever at this point. I did my job. I'm here to have a good time and enjoy it.
My work is done.
Exactly.
That's usually what happens to folks. Explaining to my wife, who's never been to a derby, there's a point where you're like, I'm tired of this. Like, I'm tired of being dressed up. But then you look up and you're like, we still got 3 more races.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Right. That's the thing, Vinny, is you got to pace yourself. Back in my day, because I'm an old person, going to the infield at 8 o'clock in the morning sounds like a great idea until you realize the derby itself doesn't get run till like 5:30. I think it's 6 something now, I think. But like that's a long day. And I've seen so many people, they start off like this here, and I'm like, brother, it's 8 o'clock. Like,
gotta pace it.
Like the horses ain't even on the track yet. Like, what are we doing?
Right, they haven't even warmed up yet. Like,
no, man. you getting here while the grounds people are doing stuff. It's gonna be a long day. But even when you get all fancied up, you know how it is, Vinny. You have your suit on, but then you're like, I'm tired of being in this suit. I've been in this suit all day.
Yeah.
And it's raining. I'm tired of it. And we still got 2 more races? Are you kidding me? My favorite, Sierra, I know you saw this, is after the Derby, it's the trek of people out. A lot of people like to watch when people come in and they're pristine. No, give me where the hat's askew.
Yes.
The ladies got the heels in their hands.
Are off.
Yeah, give me just hair's all this. Right.
Everything's everywhere.
Mascara is running. The setting power has unset. Right.
Okay. Knowing the terminology, yes.
Yeah. Hey. I got a 19-year-old and a 16.
So you have to say.
I am well versed.
Yeah.
Because when we visit,
whether you want to or not,
I go to Sephora. Like, I'm in Sephora now, and I get all that stuff. I'm in the loop, but I love the aftermath. Like, after the derby, like that's when it's good people watching, Vinny. Ties undone, people's got shoes missing. Like, give me that.
They're dropping their phone, they're dropping their charger, all the things are falling out.
Oh yeah.
They're still trying to hang on to like the programs and whatnot. That they picked up, and they're just like a mess. And it's just, and the nice thing about working the Derby is that we have like a little trailer that we get to go to. So like while everyone's like, the whole herd is like migrating, we're just like, we get to walk to our trailer and we have to finish the rest of the post Derby show, and like don't have to deal with all that. But it is great people watching, and you go and you just the exodus is so interesting. The nice way to put it.
Yeah. And then Sunday at the airport, it's just private planes, pew pew pew, taking off like that. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Man,
yeah. And I would like to be a fly on the wall in a celebrity party. I don't know if I necessarily would want to full send go to that because, all the celebrities together might be very interesting, but just like a fly on the wall just to see just for a little bit.
and that's the best part is Friday night, all the pre-derby parties.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go to the Barnstable Brown. That's the big one, right?
Right.
But all you got to do is just hang around downtown Louisville at the Galt House, a place like that. Because, Vinny, that's where I talked to Warren Moon for like 15 minutes one day, 1 year. Yeah, I was in the bar. We were there for something. And I'm like, that looks like Warren Moon. And I had a nice conversation. I'm like, well, thank you for being nice, Warren Moon, here in Louisville, Kentucky. You just don't know who you're going to see. So
that's awesome.
We're going to do that. 1 year we're going to do that, Vinny. Cats talk from the Derby on the backside.
That would be amazing.
We'll do that.
Yes, we got to do that. Yeah. And I'm taking notes on all y'all's tips and having me some sweats and my lawn mowing shoes to get them muddy and save my suit. I got it. I'm making notes.
But I will say, Sierra, even with the rain and all that kind of stuff, it's better than when it's 100 degrees. When it's 100 degrees and there's no shade out there, that's brutal.
Shade, ask wind. I could, no. Luckily, I don't have to.
Ask me how I know about those derbies.
Not fun. And I don't do well in heat. I'm not I get agitated.
Sound like my wife, where she gets heated when it's hot. And so you'd have to totally change your whole approach because you got the rain and the chilly, and then go the complete opposite for all day, no cloud cover,
a lot of fans,
90-degree Louisville, makeup running, and having
a lot of portable fans.
Yeah,
in the future, that's what I say.
That's why you get some good setting powder, Vinny. See, you got boys, you don't understand. You're not hip to it. I'm hip to it though.
My sister, speaking of sisters, and my sister chiming in. I don't ever imagine Warren not being nice. Okay,
he was very nice.
Mm-hmm. Now he did get. I remember slamming that Gatorade when the Bills came back and beat them, and they were up 35-3.
Yeah,
Buffalo makes that comeback, and
which is understandable.
And he was like, "Man, this defense couldn't," And I felt Warren in that moment. I felt it, Yeah. His yards combined, the CFL, the NFL, he's
that's right.
More than anybody, and had to do all that to even get a shot. Had to go win 5 Super Bowls, 5 Grey Cups in Canada before he came down here, that's insane. That's ridiculous.
But we got to talk about the MVP, SGA, the MVP, man. Is he like the least likely of the Kentucky guys to be an MVP?
I was so shocked today to realize, I guess I don't know. You think of all the guys that come out of Kentucky, you would have thought by now someone would have been an MVP. But that coming out, I was really shocked.
Yeah, I was like, I had a chance to cover an MVP. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Going out to Boise to watch it. I'm sorry, Boise to watch him play.
If they mispronounce Louisville, you can mispronounce Boise.
And they were very aggressive about that.
Okay.
It's a soft S. It's not a Z. Do you see a Z in there? I don't even want to be here, man. I need to be nice. They were very nice out there, but I'm like, whatever.
It's not fluky with Shea either, because he had an MVP caliber season last year. Was right there in the running, and Joker wins it. And did he fall off and just have a season where he was just kind of nope? He came right back and was right there again and won it again. So he's proven that I'm not just some kind of flash in the pan kind of guy. I'm a legit face of the league type guy. I'm only 25, 26 years old. I'm not going anywhere. So. And last night, now he's 3 games away from the finals, because they took care of Minnesota the second half. They kind of cruised.
Yeah. I have a feeling that I feel like the Thunder will be in the finals. I feel like they've proven it at this point that they can really put it together. Um, Especially because the past few games, SGA's had like a slower first half and then the second half he picks up, especially if he's able to come out of the gate and then sustain that. I feel like it's easy money for the rest of the way.
It makes that Paul George trade with the Clippers. Gads, that's a terrible trade.
Yeah.
That's why the Clippers are the Clippers, Vinny.
To your everlasting delight. Yes.
That's a correct statement. Because Paul George ain't even there anymore. That's the thing. Like all that, he ain't even there.
You got an NBA team, Sierra? Or you just...
So I started following the Celtics back when Rondo, KG, all the guys were together. That's when I started following the Celtics. And then I've just held on to them since then. So, and I know people have feelings.
My sister is gonna chime in 3, 2 because she likes them as well. When Patino went there, she moved on from the Suns to the Celtics. So she's gonna type in any minute, voicing her support. I already see it. Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Hey.
Yep. So,
but yeah, I have like the Rondo T-shirt jersey. I had like at one point they made like little plushies of all the NBA and NFL players, and I have a Rondo one of that and a Palomalu of that. So yeah, we were full send.
There she is. Well, so I mean,
they got knocked out, but
yeah, we hate that for Tatum. We talked about that last week, but
yes,
the Knicks had just kind of went upside their head before that and kind of had them reeling, and then it's kind of got away from them. Yeah, so it's be some interesting months and a few months for the Celtics coming up. So
for sure. But on the Knicks end, I'm kind of excited for Cat. So for that trade to end up being, positive for him, because I know that was really devastating for him to go out to New York, but hoping it ends up prosperous.
We just both made the conference finals, so I mean,
yeah, it worked out. Both Kentucky guys switching things, and I'm rooting for Cat too because I still don't understand all the hate he gets in the NBA circles. I'm like, what is it that he's done? And like, he's out here, he's balling. His team is on their way to the I don't understand what it is about Cat that people don't like.
I feel like he's such a likable person.
Yeah, and it's like I've seen people like all bagging on Cat. Well, I know he's had some tragedy. Didn't he lose like 6 or 7 people, including his mother?
Family members within like a year and a half. It was something crazy.
It was, I'm like, that's enough to make anybody change. You start burying family members. That's I don't know. I don't get the Cat slander.
Yeah.
And you never hear any crazy like teammate stories either. Because like at any point in time, someone could have said that by now, but they haven't. So I'm just like, I like the guy. I don't know.
All we have is Jimmy Butler trying to be a bully. They won't let that story go. But I'm like, Cat's just you can be a nice guy and play professional sports. Like, it's not mutually exclusive.
That's true. That is true. So Rob over there in Minnesota as well. Casey Wallace in OKC. Isaiah Jackson with the Pacers. So they don't get as much pub as everybody else, but they're, any one of these guys could have some jury on their finger in a few weeks, man. So.
That's right.
And poor Isaiah Jackson, that was the COVID year, and the team wasn't good, and his, time at Kentucky probably wasn't as great as everybody else's, but he's still a Cat and
still a Wildcat. Yes.
Yeah. He's the dude I always forget. It used to be Murray.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Trey Lyles.
Well, it used to be Trey Lyles too. I would watch a game and he would pop up and be like, "Oh, that's
yeah,
he did go to Kentucky." And now it's Isaiah Jackson because I saw the graphic. Like all these teams have Kentucky players. I'm like, who on the Pacers. I had to Google it. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got that year just blocked out. Like I'm just like, okay,
I feel like a lot of people do.
Which isn't fair to those guys because I do
Right.
say all the time, that team, I know they only won the 9 games, but they didn't give up. I always felt like even when things started going askew, they kept showing up and fighting. And I really love that picture of Terrence Clark lifting up Olivier Sarr's chin. I think it was the Notre Dame shot that he missed, and I'm like, okay, that's my memory of that team is Terrence Clark and those guys. They could have packed it up and packed it in. But they kept showing up, played Alabama tough, if I remember correctly.
One in Knoxville.
Yeah, and so, not the usual Kentucky year we wanted, but I thought the kids were pretty good, even though they didn't get the full Kentucky experience.
Yeah, Brandon Boston and the whole group, man.
Yeah,
absolutely. So we got the Cats in the conference finals. Well, now that we talked about it before we came on, now that it's kind of spring, summer, waiting for the fall stuff to start. What are you covering, and do you get a chance to get some time off, or what's the vibe like right now for you at BBN Tonight?
Yeah, so right now it's more of trying to find a couple UK connections with some summer stories. I think I'm going to start looking into some alumni in the area, seeing what they're up to. Also, TBT being back here this summer, I feel like that'll be a majority of our summer content, just keeping up with those former Cats coming back to do different stuff. Because not only do they come and play in the tournament, but they usually host something like a week or something leading up to it. So I feel like that'll be a lot of fun. And then kind of like in the just general sports realm, like I just did a story on like the first boys volleyball state tournament, which I thought was really cool. Boys volleyball just got sanctioned within this last year for Kentucky high school athletics. So a team out of Louisville, St. Xavier, won it, but they went up against Henry Clay, which is a Lexington high school here. And so that was really cool to be able to share that story, just how exciting it is and how boys can have another sport to look towards outside of just the traditional, basketball, football, baseball are usually like the first draws, So that was really exciting. I just, like I had mentioned earlier, I'd just been gone for like a total of a week, I believe, because, I went to go see Beyonce. So any chance I get to talk about it, I am going to take that opportunity. So I got to see her in the Cowboy Carter tour. It was amazing. So much fun. But don't necessarily have a break per se, but I guess that was my little break in between the end of this full swing of season to this more looser, less high stress energy season.
Yeah, because we're trying to ramp it up again before you know it. It'll be fall camp and boom, 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 basketball, Big Blue Madness. It's all coming.
Yeah. All happening. It's all about to happen. Yeah. So baseball is kind of baseball, and I believe we might have a couple people track and field. I'd have to double check that, but I know baseball is our like main focus at the moment.
So you said the Beyonce Cowboy Carter tour right there on your Twitter profile at So Flossy Writes, Twitter, Instagram, all that, follow. You said you're a sports yapper, also a certified music yapper. So clearly Beyonce is one of your favorites. Who else is way up there that you really like, that you plan, that you want to go see or have seen, and all that stuff? Just give us some music.
So I don't think he's gonna go on tour again anytime soon. But Stevie Wonder is like, when I'm talking about Beyonce, Stevie Wonder is like the next person for me on my list. I love him so much. I just feel like that is what music is when I think of music in general. He's just like overall encompassing, great musician, great talent, all the things. And then after that, it's a little different, but I really like Ariana Grande. She has a really good, I feel like, a mix of that R&B influence and pop, which are like my two favorite genres.
Mhm.
And so I feel like she does a really good job of mixing them both. And
She can go. She can go now.
she can sing.
Mhm.
She can sing, not sing, sing. She can
Yeah.
sing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And she
Mhm.
does the production and everything. If you are ever bored and want to see how she like makes her songs, I would look up Ariana Grande vocal stacking. It's amazing just watching those videos of her go through and stack and decide which things. And it's like she's live editing as she's singing on the microphone. It's crazy. Um, who else? I like Kaylani. She's an R&B artist. Um, and I like The Weeknd. I feel like a lot of mine are more very much R&B, slower songs. That's what I'm into.
That's where I live. That chill R&B is where I live. That's where I
Yeah.
live.
That's what happens for me. Is that what happens when you get a little bit older? Like I'm gonna turn this music down. You know,
Mhm.
I need music that sounds good, not at full volume. Like I just need
Yes.
some. Give me some of this. I'm not as angry as I used to be. I need to be more mellow.
I've
Right?
also just never been a super like in the mornings, the people that can listen to super loud, super upbeat, like pop or rap, like just loud in the I'm like, how I need to work my way to that level. Like my little sister, she can just wake up and then turn on what little bit, whoever little is the most popular at the moment, and she's like up with it. I'm like, whoa, we need to work our way to
Yeah.
that point. I can't jump right in right there.
Yeah.
And I know I sound like I'm an old head, but I think I'm more aligned. I'm more aligned with the old heads when it comes to music, honestly. So I'm fine. I'll take that. But yeah, I just can't go right in at the like high energy. I'm like, we have to work our way there, and I'd like to start with a little bit R&B, please and thank you.
And you mentioned Stevie.
Mhm.
Got to got to see him back when he was doing the Songs in the Key of Life tour, and
Oh,
I'm like, if you know you're a legend when you can just go out and tour just an album. I had
one single
one
album.
album, and he sung, and we all knew you got the album memorized, so you know what's
Mhm.
coming. You know, Sir Duke and Az and Somerset and Village Ghetto Land, all of it. He just did the whole album right there. You know, Contusion, he did the instrumental for that, all of it. So just to sit there and see Stevie live playing the album that, my mom and dad let me play that record to death
Mhm.
as a kid. I'm like, there he is. He is really doing that. So every now and then I'll see something about Stevie or Songs in the Key of Life. I tweet out the ticket stub to that show, and so I might do that again now that we talked
Oh,
about it. But
that's so
yeah,
cool.
got to see him do Songs in the Key of Life. That was a he put on a show, and he was cracking jokes in between songs. He's hilarious, man.
That's what everyone always says. When you talk about who is it? Chris Tucker always talks about him in interviews and stuff. Talks about him,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I feel like he'd just be like one of those people. When like you have the list of people that you love to meet, obviously, him and Beyonce are like the two that I feel like I would not be able to like handle myself. Like at this point, I feel like when I meet famous people, like I meet famous people all the time, but the handful of times that I've met famous people, it's not. I'm cool, calm, and collected. But those two, I feel like I would probably just like pass out.
Because the thing about Stevie is the songs he wrote that he didn't sing, and the songs he wrote that he was just like here giving to other people would be a greatest hits album. Like he,
Yes,
there's an argument to be made that Stevie Wonder may be the greatest singer songwriter America has produced. I would make that argument.
and I would have to back you up on that.
I mean, I would just make that argument
No.
because every now and then I'll just go to Apple Music or whatever, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go to Stevie's songs. I'm like, oh man, I got like 3.5 hours worth of no skips. Like,
It's literally.
oh, okay. And as you know, Vinny, I've been on that. Like, there's not a more perfect song that's ever been written than as.
No.
That's just my two. Like, that's A great song. But anyway, we could do a whole show just breaking down Stevie's
Stevie Wonder albums.
Stevie,
Stevie Wonder songs. Everyone come with your top 5, and it's just like us arguing what's the top 5.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing, if you're ever in Louisville, we got the American Printing House for the Blind that makes like 80% of all the books and magazines in Braille, Vinny. But they got a whole section. They got like a museum, and there's a section for Stevie when he visited in the 70s, maybe. I'll dig out the pictures because I took a picture of the girls at that because I was like, oh, this is pretty cool,
Yeah.
But there was Stevie right there.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. I didn't know that either. You be teaching us stuff.
Look at that. That's right. I need to be on the Louisville Travel Bureau as well.
Yeah.
Whoever comes first.
That's right.
They just go fly you back and forth to promote. That's all you gonna do. That's how you gonna spend the rest of your days, just going back and forth to tourism commissions.
That's right.
Oh man. Well, Sierra, real quick too. You're a Steelers fan, so you kind of down on them the way you talked a little bit. I guess what y'all gonna do at quarterback, and I guess thank you for George Pickens. I tagged you and Keith and Jeff Drummond in a tweet, and Keith was like, y'all can have him. He's a headache. He don't show up to practice. Yeah, so
Keith is over it. Keith went. But it was like one of the last games that he actually got to go to the game, and it was like freezing cold, and George Pickens just dropped like every single ball that was thrown at him. So yeah, Keith, I think he has a little bit of personal vendetta against him at this point. So when he saw it, he was just like, you know what, it is what it is.
And Mike Tomlin is kind of getting tired of him too. So
yeah, and that's the other thing. I was like, I mean, if he's not even trying to like hide it a little bit that he's just over him, maybe it is time for him to go. It's one of those things of like, yeah, he has talent, but it just wasn't, maybe just Pittsburgh wasn't the spot for him to grow anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things of like, dang, if he would have been able to produce, it could have been good, but at the same time, I guess it's time to just go and move on to the next thing. But we don't have a quarterback. So that's the one thing I'm just like, we need to figure that out. And I am into football enough to like casually talk about it, but I can't name a quarterback that I'm like, yeah, he would definitely fit in right now, because there's umpteen people that you could probably pick from. But yeah, it's just the fact that there's not a solid list from the ones that we do have. I'm just like,
nobody solid, nobody available.
And that too, yeah. I'm just like, okay, so we're having open tryouts. Like, what's happening? What's going on? Yeah. When are we going to figure this out?
So what made you like Pittsburgh? Was it you just a certain player they had, or a certain family member like Pittsburgh, and you was like, oh, I like them too? Or what drew you to the black and gold?
I know that my mom liked them, but I never asked her why she liked them. I just remember her bringing up Heinz.
Franco Harris and Lynn Swan. If I had to guess, I'm just saying.
That's possible. And then when growing up, my mom had ran into Coach Tomlin when they were in Cincinnati for something, and like she got a picture with him. He let her wear his Super Bowl ring, and so then after then, I was like, we have to be fans for life. That's in. We're locked in. This is what it is. And so, and like the place that they took a picture, there was a sign, and it was like Sierra, Nevada, but like Sierra was in the picture. And I was like, it was meant to be. Like, I have to be a fan for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of when I actually started to pay attention. And then for like my 13th birthday, my mom took me to Cincinnati Bengals Steelers game. Palomalu was playing. I got a Palomalu jersey. It was great. It was like the best day of my life. And I had a little camera, and I was taking pictures, and I was like, I'm so official. And we're like all the way up in like the like 300, like we're up high, but like my camera zoomed in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool. And they won, and it was like one of those wins that were like not pretty, but like I go back to school and I'm like, yeah, so I just went to the Pittsburgh Steelers game and they won. This is like the best birthday ever. And it was, and it's still one of the best birthdays I've ever had. But yeah, so it was just a combination of like my mom liked them. She got to wear Mike Tomlin Super Bowl ring. So then it's just like gone on from there.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, everybody's mom is a Steelers fan. I love that.
Yeah, that's what. Yep. That's they drew him in. So you came back to school flexing. You know, they won. You went and saw them.
They won. I got a jersey.
They had Sierra in the background. They had Sierra in the picture, kind of like that's like Terry with Big Brown. They had Sierra. He had
exactly.
It's just meant to be, you know.
Me not realizing that like Sierra Nevada is like a very common thing that can be in other places. I'm just like it has to be.
You know, their training camp was brought to you by Sierra Mist, but you was like, yes,
exactly, it's me. Yeah, exactly. You know, everything was about me when I was younger, so I just, you know,
I get it.
Didn't register that other people and other things are out there.
So year 2 of Mark Pope, what do you think? The roster looks to be just got another commitment, but the kid from Hawthorne, and so looks like the roster is full.
For what's to come, especially if OA will just give an answer. I think it will be really great season. Especially because, I mean, last year, people, I don't know, I wasn't putting the whole championship on their back because I'm like, it's coach's first year. We don't know what this roster is going to look like. I mean, if we go far, that's great. But at the same time, like, let's not put all the eggs in the basket right out of the gate, you know? So for the team to get as far as they did, that's awesome. And so now that we like, I'm a part of the game plan. Now that we have seen what the returners are capable of, and then these pieces that they brought in, I feel like it could be a repeat or even better, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm just really excited to see how this roster grows together, especially I'm really interested to see about Diabate, because for you to like win a championship and then still want to join Kentucky, I feel like that says a lot. Aberdeen, sorry. But yeah, I feel like that says a lot about what Mark Pope has built.
But Diabate beat us 3 times and he joined us too.
Yeah.
So
and so that's what I'm like. The guys, you all have been on teams that have either beat UK or you've won a championship, and you're still like, yeah, I want to go over to Kentucky. Like, that speaks a lot to me. So very interested to see how this team gels together.
I agree. We always appreciate you spending time hopping on, chopping it up with us. Glad we got to talk a little music this time. We had never talked music with you, so that was cool. And you know, all the success and great stuff you're doing at the Derby, all the stuff at BBN tonight. Tell everybody how they can see you in state, out of state, when, how, plug all of that, and whatever else you want to talk about before you hop off.
Awesome. In state, if you get LEX 18, channel 18, BBN tonight, weeknights, 7:30, always. If you can't see us in state on 18, bbntonight.com, we'll have sections and pieces of our show. We're always there. And as well as on the UK Sports Network, their website, their page, a lot of our stories and stuff go there as well. So that's the main ways you can see me. But also, if you want to follow me personally, it's So Flossie Writes. And Flossie is actually my middle name. It's just not a random thing that I came up with to put in my name. So So Flossie Writes on all social media, so that way you can keep up with me, what I'm doing, whether that's, most of the time my Twitter is more professional about sports and whatnot, but like my Instagram stories is a little more about me personally, but also what I do at work. But yeah, and I'm not on every social media, so Facebook, all the things.
Cool. Yeah,
Awesome. Awesome.
Appreciate it. Yeah, and for the people out of state, bbn.com, we're definitely checking out the pieces and seeing what you and Keith and Mag and everybody are up to. So we jump on there and click the links and watch y'all that way. So we appreciate it. Appreciate you hopping on tonight.
I
Absolutely.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me back.
So much. Yeah, enjoy the rest of the summer, and when it ramps up, we know you'll be ready for that too.
Yes, ready for it.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you.
Thank
you
you.
so much
Thank
for hopping
you.
on with us here. Always a good time talking with you.
All right. See y'all next time.
Thank you. All right. Bye, Sierra.
Sierra New begin tonight. LEX 18. Her Steelers, her Celtics, Cats in the conference final. We're talking all kind of stuff, man. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I'm happy for SGA. But again, this shakes up those rankings, right? Like
Mhm.
NBA MVP. And as I tweeted, the university will acknowledge this in 2047.
Wish I could disagree.
You'll be able to walk into Rupp Arena and you won't even know that we've had Players of the Year or NBA MVPs. That's crazy, man.
Shouldn't be dragging their feet on that. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not gonna open up that can of worms, but yeah, SGA. It was one of those things. Like I think he was the sixth. He was like the guy that got. He was like other players to be named. When that class was signed, because I think Knox was the headliner and a couple others. Is that before Nick Richards? I can't remember, but
like Quade Green was starting out the year at the
yeah,
point.
man, yeah. Then it became clear, like, yeah, this dude is the dude, and yeah. So I'm happy for him. I think he was one of those players that he was developed. I know that was kind of has been the knock on Cal developing guys. I think Shea was that guy. Again, he was like the fifth or sixth guy in that class. Didn't start until January, I think. Put the team on his back. I know they fell short against K-State, but Shea's just been improving every year. And so from knocking on the door last year, getting it this year, he's all NBA. We might have to change our rankings.
Yeah. And you can probably, credit him with, the mid-range jumper is never going to die. Everybody wants to say it's dead, but he is maybe, because still these dudes' games translate and trickle on down and, the mid-range analytics, shoot a three, get a layup. And he's out there just busting mid-range jumpers all game long. So, and take what the defense gives you. They go, you pump fake a dude, dribble in 2 steps, got open mid-range jumper before you get to the big. So he's, it wasn't dead, but he is bringing it back, if you will, to these youngsters watching. So
yeah, absolutely. So I guess if you're looking at current NBA guys, you got to have AD, which I thought would be the default best ever, but there's a chance that Shea could end up with like multiple MVPs, and it's going to be hard to say a multiple MVP ain't the guy, right? And so it's going to be tough. Like I think he's now reached that rarefied air, and it sounds crazy. Just like Kentucky not having a player of the year, Alabama going all those years without a Heisman Trophy winner, you would have thought that we would have snuck in an NBA MVP at some point, which just goes to show that Kentucky's at the big boys table without a dude.
Yeah.
When you say that Kansas has Wilt, right? UCLA, Kareem or Walton, however you want to go that way. Of course, North Carolina, right? But even Duke has had some, maybe not NBA success, although Grant Hill was right up there. But when you look head to head on the talent, I think we talked about this last week, maybe week before. does Kentucky have a top 15 college basketball player of all time? And you'd have to think AD, Mashburn, Issel would be the top, would be my top 3. But would they move into the top 15? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Which makes Kentucky, which makes that even more amazing. And then you look at a place like LSU that's produced Shaq, that's produced Pistol Pete,
Yep.
and they ain't got nothing hanging in the rafters except jerseys.
Bob Pettit before that.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Right. So that's 3 heavy hitters
Yeah.
that Kentucky can't match. And I love the Cats, but I think that's what makes it beautiful is we've not had the dude and do that. So congrats to Shea. Congrats to all the look. I want Cat to be successful, like we talked about with Sierra. I want Cat to get this done. I really don't want the Knicks to win, but I want Cat to have some success. I don't want to live in the world where the New York Knicks are the champs. That doesn't hit my spirit right. But it is what it is. So we'll see. Is that game tonight?
Yep. Yeah, we'll have a game of night until these conference finals wrap up.
Because I'm keeping track of the WNBA as well.
Yeah. What's the standings on that? I know it's early season.
Oh, the Fever, they're 1-1. Lost last night to Ryan Howard, who, talking about people like that don't get nearly enough love, because she basically won Atlanta the game last night. It was a 2-point halftime lead, and then right out of halftime, Ryan hits 3 threes, and as we talk about, really kind of opens that up. And I'm like, she may be one of the best players to come out the last 25 years. Come out of Kentucky. Maybe. But, the athletic department will celebrate her in 2050 because that's what we do.
She's down there coaching in Florida and everything in the off season and stuff.
Yeah, man. But for me, I keep saying it, the WNBA is so unserious. It is completely unserious. We've got 4 days of think pieces on a take foul that anybody that's ever played basketball, we've either gotten fouled or we've made that foul ourselves from pickup all the way up. My thing is, what are we doing? If we want the women in the WNBA to be treated as competitors, then treat them as competitors. I don't care if they like each other. That's not necessarily for this. I don't care if they hate each other. Just play the game. Like, I don't care.
Nope.
But all these think pieces and RG3 got to say something. And then Ryan Clark got to say something. And then now we know that Ryan Clark had a kid that he kept hid. Like, how did this happen? Like Bernice King is like, because somebody was talking about which one was MLK. And she's like, why is my daddy in this? And I'm like, we have lost the plot on all this stuff because it's not even about basketball.
Yeah.
It's like, just talk to me about the basketball. We're talking about this take foul and all these racial implications, but we're not talking about Nafisha Collier, who may be the best player in the league. I know Asia gets the pub, but Fee is legit. And she's had like back-to-back, like 30-point games to start this season. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about the Liberty beating the Aces head-to-head. They look ready to defend their championship. We're not talking about that. We're not even talking about, everybody's kind of got Paige Beckers locked into the Rookie of the Year, but that Sonia Citron over in Washington, Washington's 2-0 for the first time in a long time, and she's balling out. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about what somebody may have said in the stands at a Fever game. And let me just say this. Are there jackasses? Anytime you go to a sporting event and there's 15,000 people, there's going to be jackasses, right?
Yeah.
But when you start painting with a broad brush, I don't think that's fair. So the WNBA launches this investigation based on, as best as I can figure out, somebody on Twitter saying they heard something on the broadcast of the game. Nobody at the game, right? All I'm saying is when Draymond Green, that dude a couple weeks ago, I forget where they were, and that dude called Draymond Green N-word, hard R. Hey, point him out, get him out. And there was video of it. If you say that people are doing something, everybody got a phone in their pocket, man. Somebody would see something.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to paint the Fever as somehow being egregious. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. There are thousands upon thousands of racist chants throughout the arena. Okay? That's what people say. So that means every Fever player ignores it or signs off on it. Everybody in the organization signs off on it and supports it. The people that work the arena sign off on it and support it. And average fans like myself, because we're going to go to a game here in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be hearing this bad chatter, and I'm okay with it. Like, that's what you people are saying. Or, and this is what kills me, well, it's a hostile environment. Are you new to sports? I mean, seriously, are you new to sports? When you went to watch the Cowboys play at Lambeau Field a couple of years ago, and you got your Cowboy shirt on, did you think you were going to get high fives? Now, I'm not saying that you should, you don't need to go to Las Vegas and the Raiders and fight your way out. That is not what I'm saying. Or fight your way out of Lincoln Field. That ain't what I'm saying.
Right.
But the players on the field, that's what a home court advantage is.
Mm-hmm.
And we felt uncomfortable. Why? Well, they were booing. That's what they're supposed to do. There's no problem if I go to, and I've been to Minnesota to watch the Niners play, and somebody's like, hey, your team sucks. Okay. I disagree, but that's not racist. That's not wrong. That's just sports.
Mm-hmm.
If I wore this down at AT&T Stadium, is it AT&T Stadium, AT&T Field? I don't know what it is.
AT&T Stadium, yes.
AT&T Stadium, yeah. Then, I mean, if I get shown on a game, I expect to get booed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because years ago, with my former in-laws, there was a basketball thing in Indianapolis, and it was like Duke and UCLA, because it's the first time I saw JJ Redick play. Anyway, Kentucky's not playing. It's like Duke and it's like maybe Indiana. I can't remember now. Anyway, I have to look it up. Kentucky's not playing, but what do I have on?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
A Kentucky shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't sitting in the fancy seats, but I there Kentucky blue shirt on. The camera finds me. I'm up on the big scoreboard because they're showing people, and there were other people wearing other schools, right? Somebody wearing, I don't know, Notre Dame, whatever. But it's like Duke. I want to say maybe Louisville played somebody else. So it's Duke, Louisville, UCLA, and somebody else. I can't remember. All Kentucky rivals. I'm on the big screen, and it's boo, and people around me, yeah, boo, boo, boo. And I'll be damned if they didn't come back to me again. I'm sitting here with my popcorn. Boo. Now, that's to be expected.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the conversations around the W have nothing to do with basketball.
Yes.
It's feelings. It's all, like, what are we doing here? NBA or ESPN reps like, I can't. Is it Sheeny? I can't remember how to say her name, but she's talking about I've got the WNBA and I break down the NBA playoffs. We're not here for the team. That's not why we're here. Talk about the games. That's all I'm here for. Talk about the games. And talk about Caitlin Clark. Because they keep saying, oh, she's doing stuff we've seen before. No one has had more 25-point, 10-assist games than she has, and she's played 42 games. That tweet I sent you when she broke, and I said she hadn't even played 50 games yet. That's all I said. And the Veer troll coming back, I didn't say she was the best. I didn't say anything about any other players. I just said she's hit it was the triple doubles. She's third all time on the triple double list, and she's played 42 games, Vinny. That's wild. Yeah, I got 167,000 likes on that. Like, I just had to mute it because people I ain't here to argue. All I'm saying is she hasn't played 50 games, and she has career records. That is insane.
Mm-hmm.
It just is.
Mm-hmm.
So people keep saying you've seen this before. Actually, we haven't.
Yeah.
The 25-10. She had 9 until she got it last night. The number one that she's tied with, Vandersloot, got 10 of those games in 400 something games played.
Oh.
Number 3 is Diane Taurasi, that got that in 500 something games played.
Wow.
Caitlin did it in 41 games.
Mm.
What are we we've not seen this before. And so, well, she's not anything special. Okay. All right, cool. I think she is. But we should be able to have these discussions without everything else. Caitlin doesn't need to be used as a prop. Angel doesn't need to be used as a prop and all this. Just watch the games, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So true. You need to stir up emotions and pitting sides instead of showcasing talents.
And that's the thing is just let it be about the basketball. And look, I don't care what people say on social media. That's a swamp. That's a dumpster fire. I just don't need the talking heads at ESPN covering the league talking about it like this. That's my only frustration is if you want us to take you serious, then be serious.
You got to rise above it. They stepped through that depth. They allow themselves to sink to that level of what everybody else is saying instead of just
there's no way the league should be taking notes from people on Twitter.
Right.
That's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. And but you can't launch an investigation based off of a tweet, and then it picks up all this traction, and it's like, what are we even investigating? Who said what are we doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Please be serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not too much to ask.
Because now that I'm all in, I renewed my WNBA league pass.
Okay.
So, because tonight I'm gonna watch a little bit of Indy and New York, but we're also gonna watch, I think it's Minnesota and Dallas playing.
Okay.
I love basketball, and once you understand, you're not gonna see any dunks. That's fine. Yeah. But I like the WNBA. I'm getting to know the players a little bit, getting to understand how they do things. I think I told you last year I really love the Minnesota Lynx. I think I told you that early on last year. I love the way they run their offense. Mm-hmm. Everybody passes, the ball moves. It's beautiful basketball to watch. Talk about that, but why we got to do all this extra?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want you bring the comments back. I'm a man without a team, just like you are in MLB. Like your expos are gone, the comments are gone. Just bring the comments back, and I'll be right in there again more than I am now.
And that's wild because during halftime and stuff of the games on the league pass, they'll throw it way back, to Weatherspoon hitting a dagger in the first finals and things like that. Yeah. But they did a whole thing on the comments, and Kate was like, they won 4. I was like, yeah, they were not just did they win. They dominated over that stretch, like
right off the bat.
So I would love to see the WNBA get to a point like they should be. Houston should have a team.
Mm-hmm.
What the Fever and the Pacers are doing is what I would like to see all teams that have NBA. There needs to be some cohesiveness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Simple stuff like, hey, we've got the Pacers at the game today. Hey, we got the Fever at the game. Just do that.
Dope.
Right? I'd love to, Dallas, we all assume Cooper Flagg's going to be that number one pick. Okay, fam, go on and watch the Wings. Go watch Enrique and Paige.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff. Houston, like to see the Comets come back. Let the Rockets and the Comets kind of do that. I don't know who's on the Rockets team right now. I assume they have players. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't watch them, but I'm assuming the Rockets are still a team.
A nice young core, unless they're trying to get Giannis or something. I don't know. But
my shade is unparalleled. But I just want the WNBA to please be serious with this. And I'm not saying you got to kiss Caitlin Clark's butt, but just every time I see people complaining about the discourse, well, the new fans. And most of us just want to watch that girl hoop, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then by watching her hoop, I'm like, oh, Fee Collier is a baller. Okay. Got to watch some of Asia play. Like I've heard of Asia Wilson, but I'm like, oh, okay. She's a problem in the post. Like, I really love Brianna Stewart's game.
Yeah.
Like I'm out here finding folks like, oh, okay. I like how this goes. It's like I said, it's a different game because they don't have the physical tools, right? Mm-hmm. There ain't nobody like Giannis that can take 2 steps, cross the half court, and lay the ball up, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just different.
And that's all right.
Yeah, and I love it. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, man. I try to watch a little more than I did last year. Games, that I watch a little Big Three, little TBT, that stuff throughout the summer. You get some hoops in there, and
and shout out to the Niners locking up their core. Brock Purdy got paid. People got mad. I don't know what it is about Brock Purdy that people don't like.
Who got like non-Niners fans? Or Niners fans?
Yeah, because I keep seeing all these rankings, and I'm like, why y'all got Justin Herbert ahead of Brock Purdy? I've seen Justin Herbert in the playoffs.
He came from ahead against Jacksonville.
I mean, and all I've said is this, right? Like I have seen Brock Purdy be down 17 points at the half of a championship game.
Mm-hmm.
And he led the comeback. And the passes he made were not to Kittle, not to CMC, not to Debo. He had that great one to Ayuk, but it was to Juice. So he basically used our fullback and this dude that I didn't even know who his name was, like Conley, I think was. And he's scrambling around. That's how he won the game. And so, like I always say, and I'm not picking on you, but it's going to sound like I'm picking on you.
Big Ben coming through.
Good, yeah. You think that Dak Prescott is that dude, right? Is that a safe assumption?
Yeah, somewhat more than I don't. I hope there is,
But that's what I'm talking about is all these people that they rank higher than Purdy. We think Dak could perform in the conference championship.
Yeah.
We think Lamar Jackson can, but I ain't gonna say that too loud. My point is, we know when the chips were down, we saw him do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that.
And
I'm with you. My sis ain't she a Cowboys fan too.
Yeah,
Dak got us all. Yeah,
but my thing is, he had the comeback against Detroit, and he left the field in the Super Bowl with the lead. Like in overtime, when he came off the field, the 49ers were up 3. All I'm saying is everybody's got these theories because he doesn't throw the ball. He's not big. He's not strong. Like, okay. Would you rather have Brock Purdy or, Lawrence down in Jacksonville? Right?
Yeah. Lawrence only win came against Justin Herbert.
Right.
In the play.
And I've had conversations with my Bengals brothers and sisters like, yeah, Joe is that dude, but his resume is kind of like Purdy's.
Yeah.
Went to a Super Bowl and lost. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right. So all this slander on Purdy, I'm like, I think he's like 3rd or 4th right now in active playoff wins in the league. Like, but everybody want to get their jokes off. 49ers will be back. But everybody's getting paid. Fred got paid. Kittle got paid.
Yeah. Yeah, that's congratulations. Why did Mr. Davis not put his name on the jeans? Speaking of Levi's Stadium, well, just Jacob Davis, you sent the tweet out.
Yeah.
Or Levi Strauss and Jacob Davis on this day invented blue jeans. And so that's the first I heard of Jacob Davis. Why is he so under the radar?
I thought for the longest time it was Levi and Strauss. Like,
me too.
That's what I thought. And then I realized, oh no, it's just one name.
Right. I thought that was a partnership.
Right. That's what I thought. I thought, oh, this is like Hillerich and Bradsby that makes the Louisville Sluggers, but no, it's just one guy. So I don't know. Maybe he did like an Al Davis and just like took it over.
It said he was a tailor, and then he got with Levi to like mass produce his jeans. And I'm like, okay, well, why ain't it Strauss Davis or Levi Davis or Jacob Strauss or Levi and Jacob's Jeans Company or something? But he ain't on nothing.
Yeah, he Levi Strauss probably did the old Al Davis, which is a fascinating story because he was never purely the owner of the Raiders. He just took over. Fascinating. And I don't know if you saw that they're doing a John Madden movie. I know how you are with movies, but Nicolas Cage is John Madden, and Christian Bale is Al Davis.
Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, but it's the Raiders era John Madden. I saw a picture of it. I'll send it to you. Didn't look too bad, but we'll see. I'm a Nick Cage fan because that dude's all in. That dude is wackadoodle. I'm here for it, man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Well, if you watch more movies than I do, and if you're all right with it, then okay.
Well,
I didn't. So I did see the documentary like on NFL Network. I didn't know they were doing a movie. Because you're not surprised I didn't know about a movie.
Yeah. But I'll watch as long as they break down the game.
Yeah. Who is Summerall? Or who was Al Davis? It was
Christian Bale is Al Davis.
Wasn't he like a Batman or something?
He was Batman. Yeah, good job, man. He was Batman. Okay. Yes, there you go.
That's why you never see me on the movie review show that Ben and do.
Vinny is aware of Batman, so we're moving in the right direction.
I'm trying to get it. This is why you never see me on the forecast. Yeah, that's why I've never been on the forecast. Well, Ben them never had me on there because I don't watch the movies. That's why you've been on there reviewing movies and documentaries and stuff. Yeah, y'all watch the forecast, you get your movies reviewed, and listen to Ben and the fellas do that. TV's been on there, part of the BS3 Network line of programming. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm glad to know, man. I had to check that out. Yeah, getting a little derisive cheer because I knew that he was a Batman. So thank you, sis.
Yeah, just
I pulled that out of my backside too. Was he a Batman?
Was he a Batman?
I was hoping.
You gotta, you know of Batman, Vinny. That's That's moving in the right direction.
Hey, I'll take it. I better stop while I'm ahead too. Who wins game 1 tonight? Knicks or Pacers? Before we get out of here.
Pacers, man. I'm on the Halliburton train. Halliburton and Purdy got Iowa State on the map. Iowa's becoming a thing, man. Between Halliburton and Purdy and Kittle and Caitlin, Iowa's putting themselves on the map, man.
Yeah, Pacers. The way they play, and I don't know, Halliburton was hurt last year, and maybe they knocked Boston out last year. You never know. It's all about who's healthy and when. And
yeah, look, as I've said, look, injuries happen. I'm sorry that your favorite player on your favorite team got injured, but like, I think if you've been a sports team or sports fan for any length of time, you've seen injuries derail promising seasons. As Kentucky fans, we still opine about 03 with Keith Bogans. Sometimes stuff just happens, man.
That's it. Part of it. We shall see who will be 3 games away from the finals in the East tonight. OKC jumped out last night. We'll see if might be a whole Midwest thing. Might be an OKC Indiana finals. You never know.
Well, and this is the first Western Conference Finals to not take place in either Texas or California since 1996.
Yeah, because you had the Spurs and Lakers and Warriors,
and then the Mavs popped
in there. Wow.
Yeah. First one in almost 30 years to not be in any of those either one of those states. So
interesting. And it's gonna be a good one though. It's gonna be good. Different can be good. I think it will be all these young teams coming up. So Minnesota and just barely past the Mississippi, right on the Mississippi, just on the People want them in the Eastern Conference, them in Memphis to switch over because they're so close. But anyway, so it's gonna be a fun Eastern and Western Conference Finals, and I'm gonna get off here and watch it. Get off here and let you watch some of the W.
The dub.
Congrats to the Niners for inking some guys some deals, and thanks to Sierra Newton for coming on. Thanks to everybody in the comments. Thanks to my sis. Thanks to Ben Sutter. Thanks to everybody watching. It's live every Wednesdays, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Goes up on Spotify and places where you listen as well. So subscribe and give it a rating and retweet and share and all that good stuff. And we would definitely appreciate it. Appreciate you, TV. And
yes, sir.
We'll be back again next week on Cast Talk Wednesday on the BS3 Network. We see